Kevin Stefanski, held guilty of relegating Shedeur Sanders to obscurity after deciding Brown's depth chart. In Cleveland, the quarterback carousel hasn't stopped spinning, but Kevin Stefanski may have already picked who's holding the reins. Spencer German of Locked On Browns laid it bare. Flacco was first up, Pickett was next up, then Gabriel, then Shedeur. That order didn't budge, even after Shedeur Sanders' stat line practically begged for a closer look. 41 completions on 53 passes, 9 touchdowns, and a lone tipped pick across OTAs and minicamp. Yet he remains a fourth-stringer watching reps slip through his fingers. Head coach Kevin Stefanski offered a non-committal. There's definitely a point in July and August where our mentality will shift when pressed about the QB competition. But for Sanders, that shift may come too late. Dillon Gabriel's name continues to surface in behind-the-scenes chatter, and Joe Flacco is the name the Browns can't seem to not portray as the QB1. The team's actions suggest a hierarchy already decided. That's where longtime ESPN reporter Louis Riddick steps in with pointed, layered criticism that feels more like a courtroom indictment than casual analysis. I think it really does depend on how Kevin is able to, as it relates to Shedeur, work him in enough. Well, 1. Shedeur has to earn the right for Kevin and his staff to have discussions about, hey, we got to get him more reps with the ones and twos. We got to get him more reps with the ones and twos when we're going team period. Not just walkthrough, not just 7-on-7, team situations where we move the football in the preseason game. Riddick said on the Rich Eisman show about getting Shedeur meaningful reps. The ESPN analyst didn't stop there. I think he has to earn that. Kevin has to figure out a way to do that, so then you can reasonably assess what you have in him compared to Dillon Gabriel, compared to Kenny, compared to Joe Flacco, he said. Riddick underscored the injustice of denying Sanders those team period moments that truly determine value. I believe if he is given enough reps, earns enough reps, and then is given enough reps in meaningful situations, he can throw the ball just as good as Joe Flacco, if not better. Just as good as Kenny Pickett, if not better. Just as good as Dillon Gabriel, if not better. The guilt Riddick assigns to Stefanski isn't abstract, it's systematic. The longer Sanders' exclusion from first and second team action continues, the easier it is for the critics to revive old narratives. He's not that great of an athlete. Doesn't have a big enough arm. Riddick doesn't buy the Flacco fanfare, but he's clear. Unless Stefanski actively creates opportunity, the Browns risk mislabeling and misplacing a quarterback who might be their most dynamic option. I'm hoping Shedeur pits enough run and earns enough run to be able to have them have that conversation, he added. That conversation, as Riddick hinted, could be season-altering by week 4, 5, or 7. The Browns don't have a quarterback problem. They might have a decision-making one. On paper, Shedeur Sanders clears the rest. Multiple 3 TD sessions from a 144 pick. Yeah, now we are talking. And now, all of a sudden, shelving him as a QB4 feels a little schematic. More like problematic. But this is the kind of problem the Dog Pound has been dreading for after outpouring $230 million on Deshaun Watson. But here's the thing. Why not just run it with Shedeur? Some think it's pedigree. Others point to Shedeur's 5th-round label or lingering doubts from pre-draft interviews. However, he's not just saying the right things, he's living them. My story is gonna be similar, he said when Tom Brady reached out post-draft. At $4.6 million over 4 years, he's also the best bargain Cleveland has under center. If he pans out, the Browns didn't just find a quarterback, they found gold. The roar of anticipation that echoed through Cleveland all offseason came to a hushed murmur the moment the Browns' official quarterback depth chart was released. Rookie sensation Shedeur Sanders, son of NFL legend Deion Prime Sanders, and star of a headline-grabbing college career, found his name buried beneath layers of experienced veterans. Head coach Kevin Stefanski's decision was swift, strategic, and, to many, shockingly dismissive. Third string? The city collectively gasped. Really? Sanders, the charismatic and media-savvy quarterback many believed could energize a Browns franchise hungry for identity, was suddenly no more than a footnote on the roster. The social media frenzy ignited immediately. Hashtags like hashtag #FreeShedeur and hashtag Stefanski misstep began trending as fans, analysts, and even former players raised questions about the wisdom of Stefanski's depth chart, a decision that divided the dog pound. Shedeur Sanders didn't come to Cleveland as an ordinary rookie. He came with pedigree, poise, and purpose.